Hey, family. Welcome back to the channel. Tonight's going to be exciting. We're going to read out of the Glory of Kings. And this is the story of Elijah and how he saved 450 pagan priests. And I'm also going to, at the end, jump over to the King James Version and show you guys that story in there, because in that version, in the King Jimmy version, he didn't save anybody. He actually, there was some people that lost their life because of that Elijah. So I'm not saying these are the same Elijahs. You know how I do. I put it side by side and just put the information out there so you can look at it for yourself. So I'm just going to start reading because it takes a while to get to the story. And I don't want to leave nothing out, but I'm only going to read about Elijah. It's going to talk about Samson, though, so don't get lost. Just stick with it. All right. First, it starts talking about, this is on page 312. If you have the Holy Megillah, you can read along in the Glory of Kings. And it's chapter 3. So, verse 1. Hanukkah the first Yaira did not die, but one day she disappeared. Yea, she appointed her successor, then went into the forest with the Ark of the Covenant and did not return. Wherefore, after some years passed, it was assumed she had ascended unto El Cush. But having ascended, she immediately returned to earth, keeping a human body, for lo, she did not die. Rather, she was initiated into the Zero Nistar. Yea, and she began her ministry as queen of the guardian of the scrolls. And the guardian of the scrolls are but one of many ministries within the Zero Nistar. Many generations after the disappearance of Hanukkah, yea, even many generations after the time of Moses, she came to live again amongst the Nazareans. But the Nazareans knew not her history, lo, they knew not that she had been Hanukkah, or that she was of the Zero Nistar. They knew her as Sheba the midwife, for she was in the service to the household of Samson, the Yair of the Nazarean nation of Yesarel. And the story of how she came to serve Samson, the great Nazarean priest king, now follows. Behold, at the time of the birth of Samson, the Nazarenes were in dispersion. Lo, they lived in pockets of a few dozen here, a few dozen there, numbering several thousand. The father of Samson was named Elijah, and he was a great prophet. Yea, he was of the kingly line of Abraham through Noah, and served as Yair, and the mother of Samson was named Elisheba. And lo, Elijah and Elisha lived on Mount Carmel in a small kibbutz of 14 families. For as long as their numbers were not too many in one place, the worldly powers overlooked them. And on this mountain was a cave in which Elijah often meditated. For behold, Elijah was a prophet, and many of his revelations came to him in that cave. Wherefore he named the cave of illumination. And it was in that cave that Samson was birthed, for behold, the dove appeared to Elisheba in a dream and told her to birth her baby in the cave of illumination. Elijah and Elisheba were pleased to have a child. They took great care of their baby, and as he grew, taught him of the way. And they taught him of the things of the Nazarean priesthood, for it was the hope of Elijah and Elisheba that their son would serve Yesarel as a priest. Like I said, this is about Elijah, but Samson is his son, so it's going to keep talking about Samson for a minute. For behold, Samson was not only of a long line of priests and priestesses, but was of the Nazarene royal bloodline of Abraham through Noah, for Noah had been Isaac, prince of the cherubim, before coming to earth as Noah. And Abraham and Sarah had come to earth to birth his body. And all of the descendants of Noah had been held in great esteem by the Nazareans, and their bloodline was called royal. Even so, Nazareans know that it is the spiritual character of a man or a woman that makes them kingly or queenly, not their bloodline or ancestry. Nevertheless, it was precisely because the bloodline of Noah had long been associated with men and women of great spiritual character that the bloodline was venerated. Through the centuries, so many spiritual heroes had emerged from that bloodline as to cause the Nazarenes to believe that it was no mere coincidence. Yea, it was the belief declared by many Nazarene prophets that the bloodline of Abraham and Sarah was blessed. And so it was that not only his parents, but all of Yesarel held high expectations for Samson. And as a young boy, he did not disappoint. He was the brightest of all the children in the kibbutz. Not only did he learn to write and speak many languages while very young, but he also excelled at the sacred geometry of the Egyptians. For his teacher was his father Elijah, and Elijah told him, "What is called the sacred geometry of the Egyptians was first taught to them by Nasareans." Wherefore Samson eagerly pursued his studies and was by age 12 a true scholar. But not only was Samson intelligent, behold, he was deeply spiritual. He possessed a profound insight into the Nasarean scriptures and lived the teachings in his daily life. Everyone enjoyed being in his presence, for he emanated peace. Lo, Samson also excelled at Zayin. He was stronger by far than any other boy, but also quicker and more nimble. To watch him practice Zayin, like watching a great dancer. Yea, to watch him practice was itself a meditation, and behold, many elders did watch him practice. Samson was born with many gifts beyond the norm. Yea, he was blessed with gifts at birth that many adults never acquired. But beyond this, his natural gifts were cultivated by his wise and loving parents. For lo, Elijah and Elisheba raised him with great wisdom. Behold, Elijah and Elisheba were living examples of the way, and young Samson witnessed many great teachings firsthand. Perhaps the greatest teaching Samson witnessed was the time Elijah saved the lives of 450 pagan priests, and that story is as follows. At this time, the high priest of the Aaronite Jews was named Elisha. Lo, Elisha had begun a campaign to slaughter the priests of other religions, for a demon masquerading as God whispered in his ear, "Behold, there was a drought in the land," and Elisha told the Aaronites, "This punishment from God is due to the pagan priests and priestesses. Because we let them live in our land, God sends no rain. Wherefore we must kill them, even the Nazareans." Wherefore Aaronite soldiers swept through the land, capturing the priests and priestesses of other religions, yea, and many women that were deemed witches. And they took them to Mount Carmel to sacrifice them to the Aaronite god. Now Elijah, in meditation in his cave on Mount Carmel, saw in a vision that the Aaronites were searching for him. He knew he could flee and escape, but he did not. For behold, he saw in a dream what he must do. Yea, Elijah let himself be captured, but told his wife to hide with their child, Samson. And so Elisheba and other Nazarenes hid, but Elijah and other Nazarene lions let themselves be captured. Lo, the number of Nazarenes and pagan priests and priestesses bound by ropes was 450. And the Aaronite soldiers tied them to posts and put firewood by their feet. For Elisha said, "We will burn them like candles, a pleasing sacrifice to our God. Wherefore our God will send rain to end this drought." Then Elijah spoke, saying, "Behold, I issue you a challenge. In the name of the true Yahweh, I offer myself as your first sacrifice. But lo, if by sunset you are unable to set me afire, you will give me until the next sunset to call down rain to end the drought. And if the rain comes, you will set all of us free." Elisha laughed, saying, "I accept your challenge for one reason. It is now early morning, and it will be easy to set you afire before sunset. When you call upon your God to save you from the flames, you will certainly fail, and that will prove to every witness that your God is weak and my God is powerful. Wherefore I accept your challenge, for both your name and my name declare allegiance to God, but my God is the Most High." Then Elisha instructed his soldiers to set fire to the wood beneath the feet of Elijah. But behold, the wood did not light. And so Elisha ordered his soldiers to find drier wood and try again. His soldiers did so, but again the wood did not catch fire. Lo, throughout the day the Aaronites tried to light Elijah on fire, but could not. And hidden behind the rocks watching this were Elisheba and Samson. When sunset came and Elijah was unburned, he declared, "Now I have until sunset tomorrow to call down rain to end the drought. And if I am successful, you must set all of us free." Elisha replied, "I'm a man of my word. Wherefore, if the rain comes by sunset tomorrow, I will keep my promise, but I do not expect that to happen." And when the rain does not come by sunset, I will sacrifice all of you. Then my God will send rain. Behold, Elijah replied, though I have until sunset tomorrow to call down rain, I will not wait. I will bring it now, so that all will witness the power of the true Yahweh. Elijah prayed and then chanted the word of power for the angel of water. And lo, clouds began to gather in the sky. Then came thunder. And behold, a bolt of lightning came from the heavens and struck the staff of Elisha, burning it to ash. Then behold, the rain began to fall. Yea, it was a heavy rain and lasted for 7 days. The drought was ended, and the 450 pagans and Nazarenes were set free. Yea, young Samson witnessed many great teachings such as this, for his parents lived the Essene Way. But this was exciting, right? Let's hop over to the King James and see what the difference was. So Elijah called down rain. All right, and I would just, I'm sorry if I get excited, but you guys know that these are living words. And these words were written on the leaves from the tree of life. So that, plus reading it, it's exciting. It gives life. It brings life. And sometimes I have to edit out some stuff because I be getting pretty excited over here. And I know that it does the same for whoever hears this. I don't care who you are, but all right. So this is First Kings chapter 18 of the King James Version. And this is where it's talking a little bit about Elijah and sending some rain upon the earth. It says, it came to pass after many days that the word of the Lord came to Elijah in the 3rd year, saying, go, show thyself unto Ahab, and I will send rain upon the earth. So you're going to have to go read it for yourself to get all the details, but I'm going to sum it up that Ahab, I guess, was king of Israel at the time. And Ahab had called Obadiah, which was the governor of his house. And it says, Obadiah feared the Lord greatly. And Ahab said unto Obadiah, go into the land, unto all the fountains of water, and unto all the brooks, pre-adventure we may find grass to save the horses and mules alive, that we may lose not all the beasts, because there was a famine in Samaria, right? So Obadiah was on the way to go find some grass, right? And that's when, behold, Elijah met him. And he knew him and he fell on his face. Because remember, it said Obadiah feared the Lord greatly. And Obadiah said, art thou that my Lord Elijah? And he answered, I am. Go tell thy Lord, behold, Elijah is here. And then, so Obadiah goes, tells Ahab, and then Ahab went to go meet Elijah. And it came to pass when Ahab saw Elijah, that Ahab said unto him, art thou he that troubleth Israel? And he answered, I have not troubled Israel, but thou and thy father's house, in that ye have forsaken the commandments of the Lord God, and that thou hast followed Balaam. Now therefore send and gather to me all Israel unto Mount Carmel, and the prophets of Baal, 450, the prophets of the groves, 400, which eat at Jezebel's table. So Ahab went and got them. And then Elijah said to the people, how long have ye been between 2 opinions? And the people didn't even answer. And then Elijah said to the people, even I, only remain a prophet of the Lord, but Baal's prophets are 450 men. So listen to this. There's 450 of these Baal prophets, right? Just like in the Holy Megillah. But listen to this version. Elijah says, let them therefore give us 2 bullocks, and let them choose one of the bullocks for themselves, and to cut it in pieces. So Elijah challenges these 450 prophets of Baal to burnt offering. And he told them, choose your 1 bullock for yourselves, dress it first, and call on the name of your gods, but put no fire under. And so they did it. And then They said they called, but there was no voice, not any answered, and they leaped upon the altar which was made. And it came to pass around noontime that Elijah mocked them. He said, "Peradventure your God is sleeping," or something, right? So he said, "Cry aloud." And they did, and they cut themselves, those prophets of Baal, until the blood gushed out upon them, they said. But it came to pass that when midday was past, that they prophesied until the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice, that there was neither voice nor any to answer, nor any that regarded. So those prophets of Baal, it didn't work. Their God didn't set their burnt offering on fire. And then Elijah said to the people, come to me, right? And then he fixed the altar. He took 12 stones. He put water all over it. He said, do it a second time, do it a third time. And then the water ran all about the altar, and he filled the trench also with water. And it came to pass that at the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice, that Elijah the prophet came near and said, Lord God of Abraham, Isaac, and of Israel, let it be known this day that thou art God in Israel, and that I am thy servant, and that I have done all these things at thy word. The fire of the Lord fell and consumed the burnt sacrifice, and the wood, and the stones, and the dust, and licked up the water that was in the trench. So when the people saw it, they fell on their faces. So Elijah said unto them, take the prophets of Baal, let not one of them escape. And they took them, and Elijah brought them down to the brook Kishon, and slew them there. So in this King James Version, Elijah slew 450 prophets, and he did some burnt off animal sacrifice. I don't like this Elijah story, but it's there, and I just wanted to put it side by side to show you the difference. But in the Holy Megillah, the book of life, the story is that the miracle was that Elijah saved 450 pagan priests from the Aaronites by calling down rain to end the drought. So, all right. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.